is the Business Breakfast
on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Right, we're looking now at one of our top business stories for this hour, and that is the news out of Goldman Sachs that India is going to become the world's second largest economy by 2075. Now, that would see the country, which is currently placed at fifth, leapfrogging not just Japan and Germany, but even the United States. So what economic conditions need to be in place for that to happen? Let's find out with the economist, Professor Rudra Sensarma, who's the Dean of the Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, that's in Kerala. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you.
Good to have you join us. Now, we've heard a great deal about population growth in India. Is that what is driving this economic progress?
So that is partly correct. India recently overtook China to become the most populated country in the world with a population of 1.4 billion. So obviously, when the population is growing, the workforce also becomes younger. So India is going to reap the benefits of a demographic dividend with a growing number of people joining the workforce, which will drive India's GDP.
Yeah, so I've heard about this dependency ratio, which is working in India's favour. That's all to do with that demographic difference, isn't it?
Yes, you are right. So as there are younger people entering the workforce, the share of the older segments comes down. So therefore, the dependency ratio is lower, which means less for the country to spend on healthcare and pensions as a percentage of total spend, which is very different from where the developed countries are right now, because for developed countries, it's going in the other direction where dependency ratio is rising. For India, it's coming down, which means the younger population will have a bigger ability to spend, will have a bigger ability to save, and will drive income growth in the country.
But surely it can't just come down to the number of young people you've got, because they need to be educated, they need to be in jobs, they need to be earning money in order to do that spending.
I fully agree with you. So a younger population is only a necessary condition, but not a sufficient condition. So we need to have much more than that. It's not guaranteed that just the demographic advantage will take India to where forecasters are saying India will be. So we need to have, as you said, education and training so that the workforce is able to have the right skills for a economy that is more technology oriented, requires futuristic skills. So I think that's for the government to spend more on education and training, and also enable the private sector to do that, so that the right kind of skills are imparted to the workforce.
Is the government laying the groundwork efficiently? Are they doing enough to create the environment for this growth?
So there are three things that the government is doing. First is the government is spending a lot on the physical infrastructure. Now, why do I start with that? Because as per economic theory, there are these 3 or 4 ingredients for long-run prosperity, which all developed countries have done. So the first being physical capital. So the government is on an infrastructure building spree, spending hundreds of billions of dollars, in fact. So in the current year, the government has promised to spend $122 billion on building infrastructure all over the country. So that's the first thing. The second is, of course, human capital, which is the education and training part. So the government introduced the new education policy a couple of years back, which is supposed to change the education landscape in India by allowing more interdisciplinary education, by using more technology in education, by introducing 4-year undergraduate degrees, which is aligned with the rest of the world. Currently, we have 3-year undergraduate degrees in non-engineering disciplines. So there are steps being taken in education. And the third ingredient, of course, is innovation and technology. So there also the government is focusing on building an entrepreneurial ecosystem, which will encourage innovation. But then let me also say this is still not enough. The government also needs to have an enabling ecosystem, improve ease of doing business, have the right regulation. So that is work in progress, but quite on track.